who's there. You want to talk to all of them? That's not what happened. Shorty looks at me and says, I knew this fucking kid didn't do that, wouldn't do that. And he gives me a hug and a kiss. He says, go home and don't come out till I let you know. Now, unbeknownst to me, the head of the Columbos, Carmine was in jail. Ali Boy Parsco Sr. was the consigliere, he was acting boss. And this went to Johnny Rizzo's captain, who was a guy named Tato Arello, right up to Carlo Gambino. And bosses made a decision on what to do. The next day I would get in Tato's car. I knew his son, but I never knew him. I knew he was a heavyweight gangster. He was a captain, a heavyweight. I get in his car and we go down to Carroll Street, downtown Brooklyn. They talk a little bit. Ali Boy Parsco calls me on the side. He said, we know the whole thing. I should give you permission to kill Ralph. What he did. He mentioned my brother's name. If you would have got killed, your wife would have thought my brother did it or ordered it. He deserves to get killed for that. But what he did to you, he deserves to get killed. But I can't tell you to kill him because he shot his brother. We can't do it. So we're going to reach a conclusion here on what's going to happen. We're definitely not going to kill you. You didn't do nothing. And you acted like a fucking man. Were you going to shoot him when you got to the door? Absolutely. That's why I had the gun out. I was definitely going to shoot him. They already knew I was a shooter. All right, we can't keep you in this family no more because if we keep this together, it's going to explode. The Gambinos talk for you. We're going to release you to the Gambino family with no restrictions. We're always going to be your friend. You got to give me one promise that you won't hurt Ralph Spiro. So if that's what the decision is, okay. I turn around and get back in the car with Tato. We're going back. And he says, from here on in, you're with us. You're with me directly. You embarrass me, us, do anything without my permission, you'll die in this family. Right away. No questions asked. We went on a limb for you. I says, all right, I want you in my fucking club every day. Sit with me. I'm going to know every time you get a pimple, every time you get laid. No matter what the fuck you do in life, I'm going to know. I'm going to get to know you better than you know yourself. My life starts in the Gambino family. And it's a whole nother story, and I can't get into too much. I think I'm getting into too much already. People from the book and the podcast are going to go apeshit on me when they hear this.
I guess the part is, though, so now you get in, and at what point do you get introduced to Gotti where you and Gotti's relationship starts developing?
I don't meet Gotti, but Gotti does something and goes to jail for a little while, a couple of years. That guy they shot in the bar, he didn't even shoot him. That's what was in the movie, but that's not true.
Let me ask you just a question before you get that. I've heard two stories that Gotti and Junior never killed anybody. From your experiences, did you ever hear about them killing anybody themselves? Not putting the hit on somebody else doing the work, them doing it themselves.
I don't think so. I don't remember if he pulled the trigger, if he didn't pull the trigger. But I'll tell you right now, I wouldn't bank on him not being able to shoot you.
You wouldn't bank on him not being able to shoot?
Yeah, he'd shoot you in a fucking hot minute like that. I don't know about John Jr., but the father would kill you in a hot minute. I didn't pull the trigger all the time. I was basically the guy who headed and planned the hit. And let me tell you really quick how that happened. Tato really got to know me, and he said, Sammy, why are you always the front guy in when you go steal? With your Bombard Alley boy, you go in, you're the first guy, stick them up, do this, do that. Why are you always the first guy in? So I said, I don't know. That's just the way we do it. And Alley boy, he's my Bombard. He's got my back. He's a tough guy. So he says, listen, I know he's a tough guy, but Alley boy's not that smart. Would you agree with that? Yeah. He's dumb as wood sometimes. Okay, so you are smart. He said, you know what happens? You go in, he's taking you back. Something happens, he has to rearrange everything and make things happen so you get away. And he ain't got the brains. Don't you think it should be the other way around? He goes in first, you have his back. If something happens, you can react like this. He can't. And if he does react like that, it's always going to be something crazy. And I love Ali boy. I'm not knocking him. He's telling me. And I love him too. He's my Gumbada. He's godfather of my daughter. You know, he's reactionary. He just reacts. He don't think when he reacts. So I said, I never looked at it that way. He said, later on in life, when you go do a hit, it's not the guy who pulls the trigger you got to worry about. It's the guy who plans it. The guy who plans that guy can't get away, number one. And number two, that you all get away. You're a planner. Go home and look in the fucking mirror. Stop running in first. Think. Use your head. And I thought about it, and he was right. I thought he was 100% right. I more or less did the planning of it. But if you think that I would hesitate on pulling the trigger because I'm the planner and not the actual shooter, and it was said, anybody could shoot a gun. You're pulling the trigger.
Interesting. So how many of the 19 did you pull the trigger on?
I'm not even going to get into that because it doesn't matter. And by now I'm going to have problems with all kinds of victims saying all kinds of things. So I'm not going to get into that.
So in your world, calling it means a hit on you, meaning you, that counts as one of your 19. 19 doesn't mean that you shot.
Any role you take.
You know what I'm asking here?
Yes. But any role you take in that murder, you're part of it. Listen, there's a couple of guys sitting here. Okay? And we're going to hit this guy, this one guy. And you're in on it. This guy's in on it. This guy here, over here, he's going to pull the trigger and shoot him. You're going to do this. You're going to drive a car, a crash car. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And you're sitting in this room right here. You're doing what you're supposed to be doing. The attention's got to be around you so we can kill him. Now, a guy comes, he gets up from there and walks over. He's got a glass of water or something. But instead of getting a glass of water, he shoots him in that. He blows his brains out. You're sitting right here. You don't think this guy's got balls? Or he's, you know what I mean? Or you take away anything from him. He's part of the hit. Law enforcement don't give a shit what you did. You're part of that hit. That's life without parole. You're a hit guy. But it's your function. What are you going to be? Now, today you might be sitting here. Tomorrow this guy might be sitting there and you're doing that. It don't matter who's pulling the trigger. It's a matter of how does it happen? How does it work where you're not just sloppy in the middle of the streets and where it's perfectly done and you get away with it. So getting away with it 19 times, if you want to.
But out of the 19, it's not necessarily that you pull the trigger.
No. I don't even think it's important who pulls the trigger.
You don't think so?
No. Everybody in that room who's on this hit is capable of pulling that trigger. I don't want you to be the shooter. Maybe I want this guy to pull the trigger.
How do you call the shots on who shoots? How is that decision made?
On how I plan the hit.
But how do you choose one person over another person? Is it the case and how the relationship is and who's
I'll give you an example with a guy named Debio who got killed.
Sure.
And a quick example, because I don't want to explain the whole thing. But he's going to come in to a meeting. So we're going to sit at a table just like me and you were sitting. Actually a little closer. So he's going to get killed. Now what I do is I tell the old man Joe Peruta who's with me, Joe, get DB a coffee. He walks over there, opens up the cabinet, takes a quick peek, takes out the gun with the silencer, comes up behind you, and hits you. Boom! I get splattered. Do you think I'm less than Joe? I couldn't do this? You think this is a less position or a lesser guy? That bullet could hit me too. I'm sitting there. But what makes it work? I don't want to torture the guy. I don't want to wrestle with the guy. I don't even want you to suffer. This is going to sound fucking crazy, I think. But you're going to die. You never even knew what the fuck hit you. DB died and had no reaction whatsoever. It's like getting a massive explosion in your body or your heart stops immediately and you're just killed over. That's what it is. So when I do it, it's clean. And I'm immediately going to pick him up and put him in a body bag. We're going to get rid of him so there's not stuff all over the place. It's a whole thing. So I'm a professional guy. People would say on the street just before we got pitched practically, this fucking Sammy the Bull's got a contract on you, you're dead. You can't get away from this guy. Why? Because I had blinders on. Like this, the way I'm looking at you now. I don't look at nothing. I don't care about the people who are in this room, if there was people. I don't care about my family, my friends, my uncle, my aunt, money, nothing. Just you. It's me and you. And I'm going to pick when you're going to die. And it's cold and calculated, and not that cold and calculated, because you come in here with your wife or your kid. You're not going to get hit. Not with me. You're not getting hit. We'll get him another time. But I'm on you like glue. When you're making mistakes, I'm going to be the last face you see. I'm all over you. Why did I get picked 19 times? By bosses. Colombo people actually first, then Paul Castellano, then John Gotti. Why am I being picked? Why am I in 3 mafia wars?
Why are you?
I'm fucking good at it. I'm what Tato said. I'm a thinker. I'm a planner. I'm not a thug. I'll give you another thug thing. One time Paul Castellano in his house is sitting there and he's talking to us like he always did. All the heavyweights are at the table. All of them. John Gotti, Roy DeMeo, me, everybody. We're all sitting there. And he says, you know, in our life, there's 2 kinds of guys. There's gangsters, who are thugs, and there's racketeers, who are more like business guys. Very, very rare will you find someone who is both. It's almost impossible when you look around. You're either a thug or you're a racketeer. He says, we have one in our family. We should be fortunate. You could have heard a pin drop. Everybody's head is turned looking at him. And he said, that guy, and is that Sammy the Bull? He's a thug and a racketeer. My fucking chest came out 4 inches. My head must have blew up 2 or 3 inches. I couldn't believe that I'm being pulled out like that. And when we're leaving, I'm hitting guys on the back. You fucking thug. You're already a thug. I'm both. And I'm breaking chops. I didn't even realize what it was. And I thought, this is how my brain works. How did I become a gangster and a racketeer? How is that possible? It's impossible for so many people. How did I become that? Got the lexic. How the fuck did I become both? Stone Cold Killer, you could call me, and a fucking great business guy who could run unions. How did I become both? Now it's my upbringing. What I learned from my father, from my mother, from my family. I absorbed that, and it never left me. How legitimate, how honest they were. How they never lied. I mean, that never left me. Mr. Vendrakia. I'm still mentioning his name fucking 50 years ago. Those things never left me. When I was in a gang, we didn't kill people like they do here. We just fought fights. When I go into the Colombo family, beat up that guy, rob that, hijack that, kill this guy, do this, do that. And now I go into the Gambino family, I'm sitting with Tato, and I'm learning about business, unions, all kinds of things. And I always played around with construction. And I was in businesses, they didn't work, a few of them. Had a fruit and vegetable store, didn't work. But every time my business didn't work, I never thought I failed in business. I just looked at the business and said, what did I do wrong that other people could have businesses and succeed? What did I do wrong to not succeed? So even when I failed, I won. I knew why I failed, and it would help me down the road. I knew that. That's what made me both. All of those things.
That's the highest level of compliment somebody like him can give you, to be a
I think it's in front of 20 different guys, all captains and everything. Yeah. I mean, that's about as high, and I wasn't a captain, I was an acting captain.
Now, how's your relationship at that time? How are you and Gotti doing together, coming up?
We're doing fine. I don't really know Gotti. I know of him. I think I was made in 1976. I think he was made in 77. So he was made after me.
Gotti was made after you?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So they kept it open for how long did they keep it?
It's open for years. It never really closed.
Got it.
So
why did they close in the first place for 19 years or 18 years?
It was more than that. It was from 1955 or something like that, from 1957 to 1975. They closed it because some people were charging money to get made, or some people were putting their sons in there who didn't really belong. I guess they got so frustrated with it, they closed it. And it didn't open no more.
Got it. So you're in 76, he's in 77, and then how does that relationship get started?
Frankie the Chico, I was very close with all my life. every time he was a full-blown captain, I was made, and I was an acting captain. Title made me his acting captain almost immediately, a year later. I would always patronize places that he would open, an after-hour club, a crap game, an ass, gambling. So I would always go and patronize. So I was there, and his father, Frankie DeChico's father's name was Boozy, who was a made guy. He was under title, so was I now. So I was standing at the bar with Boozy, Frankie DeChico's father, and the door opened, and John Gotti and a few guys walked in, his little entourage. So he says, "Do you know this kid, John Gotti?" I said, "No." I heard of him. Matter of fact, he helped a friend of mine who was in jail, and he did it in a movie. He had a problem with black people, and they were going to hurt him. He heard that the kid was friendly with me. He intervened and straightened the whole thing out. So, and I was telling Boozy, he did something like that. I heard, and he says, "Yeah, there's a lot of good things with him. He's going to be like us eventually." But I know he's not a friend, but he's going to be. And when I say friend, I mean the main guy. When I'm talking to a main guy. He came over to Boozy, knew Boozy. "Hey, Boozy, how you doing?" I said, "Are you Sammy?" "Sammy, yeah. I met him." And he says, "Oh, Sammy, I hear a lot of great things." And he told me about my friend that he helped. I said, "I heard about that. I appreciate it." I said, "Give John a drink." I said, "I hear a lot of good things about you, too, Bo." That's when we met. A little while later, he went in the back where there was a crap game. John was a degenerate gambler. So he went in the back, and I stood at the bar with Boozy. That's when I met him, in 1977. I didn't grow up with John, and he comes from that neighborhood. They have me that we have a long relationship. We don't. I'm on a whole other end. I'm Bensonhurst, Brooklyn, Bay Ridge, Bensonhurst. You know, I'm in that area. He's in Queens, almost towards Long Island. It's not my neighborhood. But I did hear about him. I knew he was in the family, but I didn't know. I knew he wasn't made. You know, then he went to the camp for a while.
Was he overly ambitious on why he eventually became the boss, or was it something where everybody around said, "No, this is the guy that's got to be the boss eventually," after, you know, taking out Paul Castellano?
Read my book coming out, or listen to the podcast. It's too long of a story.
Give me the shorter version of it. Give me a glimpse of it.
I say it again.
Was John Gotti, was he overly ambitious where, like, you know, Frank Collada tells me when he first met Tony Spilotro, he knew eventually Spilotro wanted to be a boss. Like, he said it since he was a kid. It was an inspiration to him. Was Gotti so ambitious where he wanted to be a boss eventually, or was it something where people voted and said, he has what it takes to be a boss?
Oh, no. He wasn't, he didn't have what it takes to be a boss. We made him a boss. But Paul fucked up. He made a lot of mistakes. I thought the world of him in the beginning. He lost my love through a series of events, and he lost the respect that Frankie had for him. Paul had made a ton of mistakes prior, and there was rumbling and growling by us, the troops, whatever. A lot of things. He changed from what he was in the beginning. He got more greedy. He had so much fucking money. It was, how could you be that? How could you be greedy? He's got so much fucking money. It's incredible. He just made one bad move after the other. He was fucking around with his mate. And this is not something we do. You know, we go out as men. We screw around. We're a bunch of dogs. We're in heat all the time. We got testosterone popping out of our fucking shirts. But me and Frankie are in his house talking with him, and he's talking about Gloria, his maid, was questioned by the FBI on the street. She's got a Colombian accent. He's so good looking, that agent. So Paul's upset about it. Jerk off over here turns around, and I go like this. I said, "Paul, do you want me to take care of this problem?" He looks at me and he says, "What?" And now I get a swift kick under my leg. Frankie kicked me. What the fuck did Frankie kick me for? What am I doing wrong? Then he says, "Say that again." And the veins in his neck, now I dealt with him, I got his veins out of his neck a few times, but those veins are sticking out of his neck. And he said, "What the fuck did you say?" "Paul, maybe I think I lost my mind right now." I said, "I don't know what I said." I said, "If you need me, am I saying something wrong?" I get another kick. I said, "Oh my God." It goes away. It's over. We walk out of the house. Frankie gets on one knee, he grabs me because we know where the cameras are. We know he can't see us, so that's the way I hug him. He's hugging me. He says, "You are so fucking nuts." I said, "What the fuck are you talking about? What's the matter?" He said he loves this fucking broad. He'll kill me and you for her. The 5th Cadillac in the garage is a big fucking garage. Is glorious. And Gloria dictates to his wife now. No. Sammy, didn't you see what reaction he got? You didn't do nothing. You did a normal thing, but didn't you just see the reaction? He was fuming when you did that. He's doing that to his wife. Now, he might have been fuming at me, but I lost a lot of respect for him. Because I told Frankie, he's got $1 gazillion. He can get the most beautiful girl on the planet, buy her a fucking house, buy her a Cadillac, make all the payments, go there every once in a while, do your little bullshit thing, and go home. What do you do? She's fucking 2 feet. Well, she's bigger than 2 feet, but 2 feet, fat and ugly. Besides, what the fuck? And you expose your wife and kids and everybody like that in the house?
Who knew the story behind it?
Well, they know. Obviously, other people know. I didn't know it. I'll give you an example of Goes in Austria. That's crazy. Tato, who's my mentor, who talks to me and teaches me about Goes in Austria, the different way than the Columbos, he says, one day, I'm in the restaurant, and it's a neighborhood restaurant, and he says, I'm sitting with my gumada. My gumada is his girlfriend. You got your wife and your gumada, your girlfriend. You're treating her almost like a wife. You see it in movies all the time. He says, and the door opens up, and Carlo Gambino and 4 or 5 guys walk in. They go to the other side, and they sit at a table. Back then, you don't even reckon, you don't wave, hey, Carl, you don't do nothing like that. You don't even send a drink. You don't do nothing. You just look at him. You may have tilted your head like you just did. Tilt your head a little bit, or look eye to eye. That's us saying hello to each other. You don't. This is a secret society and a brotherhood. Forget Gotti. This is back then. It's a secret society. He may look back and give you a little head shake. He's acknowledged you. Now, there's a guy sitting there. There's 5 of them. One guy gets up, and he walks over to Tato. Hey, Tato, how you doing? There's an empty chair right next to Carl. He says, go sit in the chair over there, that empty chair for a minute. What's your girl's name? Rosie? Hey, Rosie, my name is blah, 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 blah. How you doing? And he gets into a bullshit conversation to keep her occupied. He goes over and he sits with Carl. Carlo Gambino tells him, according to Tato, how you doing, Tato? Oh, good, Carl. How are you doing? I'm doing pretty good. That woman over there, Chukumana? Yeah. What's her name? Rose. She's a beautiful girl. She really is a beautiful girl. He said, you come to this restaurant all the time, right? Yeah. You come here with your wife once in a while, too, no? Yeah. Let me ask you something. What do you think these people think when they see you now with Chukumana? Oh, no, they don't think nothing. They ain't never going to say nothing. No, of course they're not going to say nothing. They're afraid of you. They're not going to say nothing. I don't mean to you or to me. What do you think they say to each other? What do you think they say when your wife comes in? Tato's girlfriend is so much prettier than his wife. Look at the difference in the bodies, how gorgeous that one is. You don't think they're going to talk like that? They're human beings. They're not going to say nothing. I agree with you. But I don't look at it that way. No. All right. But it's pretty obvious. So let me ask you a question, Tato. Do you love your wife? Of course, Paul. I do love my wife. Let me ask you something, Tyler. Do you love me? Of course, Carl. Of course I love you. I hope you don't love me like you love your wife. Go ahead, go sit with your grandma. Now, maybe a lot of people hear this won't even understand what the fuck this is. This is Cosa Nostra to the core. This is true Cosa Nostra. How do you think I felt knowing Paul is doing this with the maid? It might be funny to people. His maid in the house in front of his wife and kids and things. Well, I mean, of course he's not hugging her and kissing her, leaving that thing right in the house. So when I look at it, when you get made and you're a maid guy, we're brothers. Your wife is my sister-in-law. Your kids are my nieces and nephews. I'm in the bar, I see your daughter, God forbid. And she's acting a little stupid for a girl. Come over here. Don't give her no more drinks. Go home. Get the hell out of here. The guy looks, you, get out of here. Go home. You're not behaving nice. I'm your father's friend. Go home. We do that. We care about your wife and your kids. He is the father of the family. So he's my father. He made me. She will take my son, Gerard. Oh, little Gerard, come over. when I would go with my kid, put him on the thing, sit down, give him milk and cookies. She literally was like my grandmother. She was a lot older than me. But she was my mother, according to Cosa Nostra. How the fuck could you do? It's just funny when you don't know. But picture now your father, not Paul, doing this to your mother. How would you feel? That's the way I'm supposed to feel. This is my father. This is my mother. Dad, what the fuck are you doing, bro? I like to fuck just like you, but in the house like this, bro, mommy looks like a fucking rig, and other people know about it too. She looks like a fool to the world. Is that what you think of? That's Cosa Nostra. People don't hear that. People don't know it. People think when you watch all these movies that we go out and we shoot people and we fucking drink and party and that's all we do. We're not human. That's all we do. And it seems like we always talk about the worst. You want to talk about the worst of me, the 19 murders. You want to talk about the worst. You don't want to talk how I feel with that. How I felt maybe on some of those murders tore me the fuck apart. I went to a funeral that I caused, but I didn't cause it. He caused it. So when I went to the funeral of the box and I didn't sign the cross, of course I said it to myself, look what the fuck you did. You knew I would be shooting you. That's our life. But you broke these fucking rules. You knew you would die. Whether it's me or Tommy or Lenny, you knew this would happen. It was me. I killed you. But look what the fuck you did. Look over my shoulder. Look at your family. You did this. You gave me this fucking scar in my heart, you fuck. I loved you like a brother. You forced this. And if I don't do it, I die. And you die anyway. That's our rules. That's the life. That's Cosa Nostra. So, but people don't ever talk about that or think about that, I don't think. I didn't see this in movies. Maybe if I do a scripted show, it'll be in my scripted show. Maybe if I talk on my podcast or my book, things will happen and come out. And I don't even do this podcast, book, interviews or whatever. I'm not even doing this for greed or money. I'm 74, pushing 75. I got fucking 22 years in prisons. All this fucking baggage. I don't give a fuck. Of course I want money. Not for anything anymore. My life is damn near over. I want to take care of my ex-wife, my son, my daughter. I'd like to help them before I go. And some people who stayed loyal to me throughout this miserable experience. Those are my motives. Those are clear my motives.
You still trust people?
Of course. Of course. I trust you. I already thought. You think I don't think? I think about every fucking thing. You think I would sit in here with you and these other people with the lights dim if I didn't think about you or trust you? I trust you. I think you're a gentleman. I looked at some of your past things. I listened to some of the tapes you were on. I make decisions before I move. I'm not Alley Boy. I'm Sammy the Bull. I'm a hit guy still. I think like it. Sometimes my wife she don't call me hit guy, but she says, Sammy, every fucking thing you do, you think like a fucking gangster. Personal things that come up. I said, Dad, what do you want me to be? You want me to be gay tomorrow? What do you want me to be? I'm a gangster. And that's the way I think. I was brought up my whole fucking life. So I think of every fucking thing. I analyze everything that's said or done, or anybody I do business with. And there's people who do business with me now who are as legitimate as it comes. The guy from Mosaic, them and their wives and people talk to me and deal with me. My whole neighborhood talks to me, loves me. They blow horns, they come over. A woman rang my fucking bell, because I was home alone, and she came in with a pot of fucking stew. I said, what's that for? She says, I know you were home alone for days. I just want you to eat. Just give me food to eat. And I get along all over the place with everybody, just about. I was going to say I'm not a drunk. I don't drink. I don't take drugs. I don't gamble. John got mad that I don't gamble. What gangster don't gamble? I'm this gangster.
What were the biggest differences between you and Gotti, personality-wise?
Every difference you could possibly have. I walked around with a fucking sweatshirt. I abided by Cosa Nostra. I didn't want to be noticed and saw and go around with a $3,000 Brioni suit and a hand-painted tie and telling everybody, I'm Sammy the Bull, one of the biggest gangsters in the world. That's what he did. I'm John Gotti. I'm one of the biggest gangsters in the world. I'll never forget, we were in a club one night, And John had two bodyguards, Bobby Borriello and another guy. And Bobby Borriello whispers in my ear and says, Sammy, there's two people at the other end of the bar, and they're watching you guys real close. Do you want me to go and rouse them up and see what's going on? I said, no, hold up. I said, John, Bobby noticed there's two people at the other end of the bar. On the other end, all the way at the end. Don't look now. And they're looking at us. Bobby wants to know, should he go over there and, push it around a little bit? Check it out? Sammy, no. You can. I saw that they were looking. That's our public. That statement hit me like a ton of bricks. Our public. Now, I didn't say this, but my mind said, we're gangsters. We are under the radar. We don't exist. We're a secret society and a brotherhood. What fucking public? We're not actors. We're not married to actresses. We're public. What the fuck are you talking about? We don't exist to the public. He's proud of it. He called them over. Gave him an autograph, a thing. I'm rubbing my head. I said, what the fuck? This ain't even real. So what difference is? I never did that. I was with him. I was dressed. We came from somewhere. But I never did that. Even now I don't do it. I don't brag about it. See, I spent 22 years in prisons. A good part of it is after I cooperated. You go in prison and after you cooperate, it's a tough place to do time. I got along with everybody. Blacks, white, Hispanic, Asian American. Even though there's not that many Asians, but different gangs, ABs, La Familia, Mexican gangs, and I didn't get killed. I didn't even get into that many battles. John went in, all his racist bullshit, he got hit. He got beat to a pulp by a black guy. Then he tried to pay the ABs to get even. I didn't have to pay nobody. I walked around. I had an argument with a guy on the phone. He was a moose. So when I first get into that unit, this big unit, and I said, this was in MCC. I said, what phone is ours that we use? Or the phone over there on that wall. And how come he's on the phone? No, each tier has a phone. He's not on our tier. Is he on our tier? No. But he takes the phone. What do you mean he takes the phone? Don't he have a phone? Yeah, but he takes that one too. Takes whatever phone he wants. Takes whatever phone he wants. Yeah. So how long do we have to wait to make a phone call? When he gets off? No, I'm not waiting until he gets off. And I walk over. And I tap him on the shoulder. Bro, you on my phone. I gotta make a phone call. You wanna hang up? He said, get the fuck out of here. So I'll break your fucking face. All right, but get off the phone anyway. I want to make the call. Then you can break my face. You do whatever you want. Hold on. Hey, listen, I'll call you back. That's some fucking maniac. No, you ain't going to use the phone. Oh, I'm going to use the phone. I'm going to tell you what happens now. And I'm squared up. I'm ready to go. I said, I'm going to tell you what happened. Me and you are going to fight. Maybe you're going to break my ass. More than likely, the way you look, more than likely you will. Don't ever go to sleep. You better kill me. Don't go to sleep. When you sleep, I'll kill you. I give you that promise, you motherfucker. Who's this fucking maniac? That's Sammy the Bull. I could give it no, you can't give me nothing. You can give me a beating if you want right now. You can't even use this fucking phone no more. Unless you ask my permission. If none of us on my tier is using it, I don't give a fuck, use it. I stood my ground, but I didn't play games like John, racist shit. I didn't do that. And I didn't even say the guy was a black guy, but he was. Because it's not a racial with me. I don't give a fuck what he was. I want my phone. But I didn't play that game in prison. They knew I stood my ground, small as I am and as old as I started getting, and I didn't fuck with nobody. I didn't play any racial games, I didn't do anything. And people knew that more than likely, if we're going to do something, let's kill him. Because he's not going to just ignore it or walk away or accept the beating. He's not going to do that. He's going to come back. And that's what I did all my life, and in prisons.
The part earlier when he was talking about you and Gotti are speaking, and he told you, you're going to take it, I'm going to get out because I'm the boss, they need me, you do the time, and you walked away. What is the process from there to Frank coming up to you saying he's extremely paranoid in prison, he's, out of control with the words of what he's saying, Sammy, we got to go, if we get out of this and we leave, we got to take him out. You're the boss.
That's way before.
That's before. That's before your conversation with him. So the question I have for you is the following.
That's at the end. I did 11 months with him. when that conversation happened, I'm already in prison 11 months with him in MCC. So all them things, stories like that, leading up to this, and I still was there. This conversation, I got 22 years in prisons. This is the worst 11 months I did in all my prisons, and I did rotten fucking time in some hellholes that are locked down. The 11 months was the worst.
Why is that?
It was torture. He didn't want to go in. He did not want to go in jail, and he was fucking weird. I'll give you another story. It's in books, so I can tell you this. When we first get in, a little time has passed. I get a visit. My wife grabs my hand, and she's saying, "Oh, Sammy, you're in so much trouble." And she's rubbing my hand. She feels sorry for me, I guess. So she's rubbing my hand. "You're in so much trouble." I read the papers. I said, "Baby, don't. Fuck the papers. Don't worry about the papers. They bullshit a lot." Frankie LaCasio, we're on a visit. Him too. John too. Frankie LaCasio taps me on the shoulder. I said, "What is it, bro?" And I lean over so he could say something in my ear. I don't know what he's going to say. He tells me, "Tell your wife to stop rubbing your hand." "What'd you say?" "Tell your wife to stop rubbing your hand." Frankie, what the fuck are you talking about? I don't even actually realize she's rubbing my hand. Now I'm looking at her. She's rubbing my hand. And he points, not with his finger, but with his head. He nods to John. So I look up to John. John has his hands across his chest with a smirk and a nod. I said, "What the fuck is this?" I turn around to my wife. I said, "Babe, stop rubbing my hand." "Why?" "Because if the guards see it, they might take it as a contact visit and they stop the visit. Because you're not supposed to have a contact visit. They may take that." She stopped. The visit is over. We go, all three of us. The visitors are gone. Like I'm standing in the back with all of us, and we're getting undressed nude. So it's just strip search. I said, "John, what the fuck was that all about?" With my wife. "Sammy, you're the underboss. You gotta act like an underboss." I gotta act like an underboss. My wife was rubbing my hand. She wasn't giving me a hand job. What the fuck are you talking about? Who the fuck you think you're talking to like that? "Hey, maybe you're right." And I basically bend over, look up my ass, and we start getting dressed to go back in. But these things made me sick. There's 100 of them.
When you say in the Diane Sawyer interview, I knew if Frank came, he's going to deny that he never said he wants to be the one that take the hit. He wants to be the one that pulls the trigger. But then you said you had 10, 12, 14 names that you had to take out. The brother, the son, all these guys. You write it on a piece of paper, then you crumble the paper, you throw it away, and you say no. Then you went to the FBI. How were you processing that decision in that moment?
No, it went later. In other words, once Frankie tells me that, I'm processing when we kill him again. I don't stop the process. I don't just sit on my ass. "Okay, duh. Look, we're going to kill him when we get out." Okay. No, there's a process. And I start thinking where we're going to kill him, who's going to drive him, where we're going to bury him, who do I have to kill? His brother, son, this one, that one, Genie Gotti. I happen to like Genie Gotti. I think he's the best of the Gottis. At one point, it was 14, 15 people on a piece of paper. I ripped it up and flushed it down the bowl. So I'm done. I'm not killing. I'm not doing
Why,
nothing.
though? Why?
I quit. What do you mean, why? I quit. Here's my best fucking friend, my boss. I did so many things for this guy. All them trials, I rigged the trials. I threatened people. I fucking bribed people. And this is all fact. And he turns on me. "You love your wife? She's extremely loyal to you in every possible way imaginable." Suppose she turns on you like a fucking beast tomorrow. How would you